Good evening, everybody. Sorry for this delay. The usual technical glitch, which we have no hands on it. However, good evening. Welcome you all for the Ketchup Moms Let's Talk show. Pregnancy and motherhood are two beautiful and blissful events in our life. Many of us have already experienced it and experiencing it, and some are getting ready to experience it. According to me, during the 9 months of pregnancy, every pregnant woman, she undergoes a physical and a mental change, prepares herself physically and mentally towards this incredible blessing of giving birth. During this 9 months, if you actually look at it, we are preparing ourselves to welcome someone in our life whom we are going to love that person for the lifetime. We're going to have someone who's going to love us at the first sight. So these are those newborn babies who are going to bring the new happiness, new joy, new events, and new life in us. Unfortunately, when a calamity strikes, when there is a natural disaster or a pandemic situation like COVID 19, there is a lot of questions or there are a lot of fear in the mind of pregnant women, mainly because these viral infections can result in a preterm or can result in a miscarriage, or it can bring about some unique pharmaceutical challenges which actually can be a fatal too. Under this COVID 19 situation, where the immunity level is highly challenged, the most vulnerable and susceptible segment of population are pregnant women and newborn babies. The thought that the coronavirus existence of coronavirus by itself is giving us a very scary feeling. It's very even scary to imagine how much this coronavirus can recast motherhood. This has precisely led us to curate the talk show for today. And today's talk show discussion is all about COVID 19 care and cautions for pregnant women and newborn babies. We have in our panel Dr. Rashmi Daraskar, senior gynecologist with 20 years of experience in the medical field, who's actually a senior consultant gynec at Surya Mother and Child Care Specialty Hospital, Pune. Also, we have Dr. Amita, who is a senior pediatrician. She is an associate chief pediatric intensive care services of Surya Mother and Child Care Super Specialty Hospital, Pune. Ma'am, on behalf of Kitchen Mom and viewers, we welcome you both for our talk show today.
Thank you.
There are so many questions that's lingering in our mind. And if I have to start with, I can start with a very prime, very basic, but very important question. Dr. Rashmi, I'll start with you. There is a lot of planning done by a pregnant woman during the 9 months. And one of the very prime among all these planning and preparing is to prepare the maternity bag, especially when you are approaching the due date. So during this COVID 19 situation, what more should be added or should be included in the preparation apart from the usual ones?
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much, Jayanti, for a kind words of introduction. And now coming to this COVID-19 pandemic. See, the WHO, World Health Organization, has declared it as a pandemic since 11th of March 2020. And everybody is having some fear, anxiety in some or other forms, especially the pregnant women. They are also having anxiety when their due date is near. They are feeling how it will happen, what to take, what not to take, whether it will be smooth or not. So in this corona outbreak, around at 37 weeks of gestation, every pregnant lady should be ready with her backpack. Especially keeping in mind this corona, she has to take few things such as face mask to avoid the exposure during her hospital stay. Then she can keep her hand sanitizers for hand hygiene, because she is going to handle a baby. She has to take care of her baby. Then other personal belongings she can carry, like hand gloves and extra set of clothes. And also the accompanying person, only one relative is allowed during her delivery process.
Okay.
So that accompanying person should also carry all the personal belongings, so as to avoid the sharing and avoid exposure. So wearing a mask is compulsory during her hospital stay. So with these all the things, she should be ready while going to hospital.
Okay. Okay. So likewise, Dr. Amita, what is the mandatory check that has to be followed before getting the newborn home from the hospital during this COVID period?
For the newborn coming in the house after delivery, generally nothing much different is required. Main thing is that the room in the house, which is the most well ventilated room, the room where you get a good sunshine, should be designated for the mother and the baby to stay in. Number one. Number two, the sanitizer Dr. Rashmi talked about, that is important, but you have to make sure the alcohol content of the sanitizer, it should be more than 60% in this, especially in this COVID situation, to get rid of the coronavirus infection. And the third thing, what I would say, that the clothes and the linen of the baby should be pre-prepared, washed properly in a gentle detergent, and dried and ironed and kept ready. You need not disinfect the baby's clothes because they are new and you have already washed them. So, but they have to be soft cotton clothes, cleaned and dried, and we are not going to use anything new for the baby directly from the market.
Okay. So should the baby also wear the mask when the baby is got back home?
The recommendation currently do not suggest that any child less than 2 years should be wearing a mask. The mask or a face shield or covering the baby's face can be dangerous. It can suffocate the child, choke small children, or even strangulate them in the tie of the mask. So less than 2 years, no mask for the baby or your young children. So do not bring the baby to the hospital or do not take the baby out of the hospital covered, especially the face covered. You have to keep the face of the baby open.
Okay. 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 Now I'll ask a question to Dr. Rashmi. There are many periodical checkups during the pregnancy. Now, like triple marker test, ultrasound, blood tests, NT, CVC. The list is quite long. In this last 2 months, because of this lockdown, many pregnant women would have missed this. So is it a cause of worry?
Actually, if it is a low risk pregnancy, means if the pregnancy is not associated with any other medical illnesses, so 1 or 2 checkups, if the pregnant lady misses because of the lockdown, then it is okay with the doctor's permission. Actually, guidelines say that at least 4 visits are needed. Guidelines say to minimize the visits, actually to plan the visits so that everything can be combined in one visit. They have
Okay.
advised 4 visits. First is at around 11 to 12 weeks, where we can do the NT scan along
Okay.
with the blood test and a routine checkup. Then
Mm-hmm.
second visit at around 19 to 20 weeks, where we can do a second level of sonography, which is a congenital anomaly scan,
Mm-hmm.
along with the regular checkups. And third visit at around 28 to 30 weeks for growth scans, and the last visit at around 36 37 weeks, just to plan the discuss the plan of delivery. So
Okay.
these 4 visits minimum are needed.
Okay.
If the pregnancy is a high risk pregnancy, means
Mm-hmm.
if associated medical disorders are there, like hypertension in pregnancy or a gestational diabetes or any other things, then definitely this visit should be more. And also the lady should take extra precautions during pregnancy.
Okay, okay, okay. So this guidelines, what you said, like the 4 times of visit, it will be given by the doctors, gynecologists like you when they consult you, right?
Right, right, right.
Okay. Similarly, Dr. Amita, we have to take the newborn babies for regular checkup. In terms of measuring their height, weight, head circumferences, and for vaccinations. So now, what is the norm followed for newborn babies in this regard?
So the well baby checkup, we call these as well baby checkups, are a must. We cannot miss them. They are very, very important. The first well baby checkup happens 48 to 72 hours post discharge. In that checkup, we have to check whether the baby has not lost too much weight, baby's hydration status, whether the baby has not developed jaundice, and baby is not having any sort of infection, whether skin infection or any bloodstream infection. So that checkup is very, very important. And during that checkup, we give the first vaccination of BCG and hepatitis B. So that checkup cannot be missed. A lot of parents wish can we get the vaccination in the hospital and we will skip the checkup. But they don't realize with new parents, they can miss very simple things which can have a lifelong consequence or can have a disastrous consequence with a small baby when they can miss small things. And the next checkup is after a week. If in the first checkup, if the baby has put on good amount of weight and mother is confident with the breastfeeding, then we do a next checkup after a week of the first checkup. The third checkup happens at 4 weeks, and the fourth checkup is at 6 weeks, where we do the primary vaccination. The important point here is that we should not miss the vaccination at any cost, because these vaccines protect the child against dreaded diseases which are preventable. So in this corona pandemic, we cannot afford another pandemic like a measles or a flu epidemic. So it is important that all babies primary vaccination is completed in time, and the elder sib should also get the booster doses in time. We cannot delay them too much.
So it is mandatory for them to come to the hospital for
Yes.
vaccinations.
Yes.
That's what we are
Not
trying
only vaccinations, the checkup, because it's the pediatrician who can actually see whether the baby's dehydrated or whether the feeding is appropriate, because mothers and the relatives, they can feel the baby is okay, but a lot of time when they come for the first checkup, they have lost a lot of weight, like 5 to 10% weight in just 2 days, and they have developed jaundice, so which needs treatment, which cannot be detected by a layman.
Okay.
But if the family has a doctor or a pediatrician, then obviously they can help them. But these checkups are mandatory. And with these days, what the doctors and the clinics are doing, we are not calling all the patients together. We are stacking patients so that there is not overcrowding and the exposure is less.
Yeah, okay. So that's very prime, because if it's not crowded, then the safety is always taken care when we follow the precautions, I guess. Okay. Yeah, so this is another question which has come up. This is for Dr. Rashmi. Pregnancy actually suppresses women immune system to a certain extent.
Definitely.
They are more susceptible to catch fever, cold, or some kind of stomach bugs, or headaches. Is it safe for them to take any over-the-counter medicines, like they self-medicate themselves at home, or should they actually consult the doctor, or can they opt for an call, like an online consultation or consultation over the call? So what do we suggest on that?
See, ideally, no self-medication is advisable. A pregnant lady should not take a self-medication on her own for any ailment, because there can be adverse effect on body also. So she must take a guidance. Nowadays, during this COVID-19 outbreak, the teleconsultations are available, which are a telephonic consultation or online consultation, where she can call and have a discussion with her doctor, and the doctor will guide her whether if it is a minor ailment like a fever less than 100 degree Fahrenheit or any stomach ache or a mild headache, then doctor can advise her medicines, prescribe her medicines online, and she can take the medicines from nearby medical shops. And if the doctor advises her to visit the hospital, then she can anytime come to hospital. So this way we can minimize the visit. So teleconsultation, telephonic consultation, online consultations are now available. So you can take help of them.
Okay, okay. So the first step could be going for an online consultation and telephonic conversation with the doctors, and then from there on they have to take it over, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Another question which has come up with respect to the newborn babies. Similarly, like when it comes to newborn babies, there are chances that some babies catch jaundice. Some develop some yellow flaky scales on their scalp. They get some ready patches on the body. Some develop even some kind of boils. So again, here it's a typical situation in a pandemic situation like this. Do they have to be taken to the hospital for everything, or is there any kind of home remedy which they can, apply it on the baby or follow it up for some kind of a cure?
See, for jaundice, as I already mentioned, it has to be seen by a doctor to assess whether the baby would need a blood test. But for other small skin ailments, it is always better to follow a good skin regimen for the baby where we use minimal products. Minimal products are good for the baby, and they would cause less rashes in the baby. So use of simple oils like coconut oil or olive oil just to massage gently. We tend to rub in the oil instead of rubbing in the oil. Just gentle massage of the baby using simple baby washes, a simple baby lotion, and a diaper rash cream is all the baby needs. So we need only 4 baby products, which is one, again, a simple baby oil. Any oil, there's no oil which is a good oil, but any oil which is not pungent, which is not too smelly, which is clear, can be used for a massage, a baby wash, a baby lotion, and a diaper rash cream. So in case the baby develops a flaky scalp, which is generally a form of a dandruff, where mother can frequently shampoo the baby without using any medicated products. Please do not use any medicated products for the baby until and unless advised by the doctor. But if the skin rash is progressive, it's not getting better in 1 or 2 days, it's associated with pus-like lesions on the skin, or there's fever, or there is excessive irritability in the child, then yes, you would have to visit the doctor. For as a pediatrician, the online consult for a newborn doesn't work for me. I just do online consult or a telephonic consult, just probably to just check a report or just a small advice. But when it comes to seeing a baby, until unless I see the baby, I will not be able to advise. So basically, if you take good care of skin, nothing major would happen to the skin. But if you need to see a doctor, the red flags are that if there is fever associated or the lesions are progressive, not getting better in a couple of days, then please visit your pediatrician.
Okay, okay. Again, now when it comes to pregnant women, typical, early pregnancy symptoms are these cramping or, getting into some kind of spotting. And moment you get into such kind of situation, general scenario is that we start panicking. So in a pandemic situation, should the pregnant women visit the hospital immediately? Or what state would you say it's an emergency state? What is the emergency signal in this case?
See, just now we have discussed that if it is a minor ailment, then definitely she can teleconsult, online consultation can be done. But there are few emergency signs or signals we can say when she should immediately visit to hospitals. Like first is a crampy pain or spotting. Even a spotting per vaginum can be a sign of a miscarriage, or it could be a warning sign which can be followed by a heavy bleeding. And second thing is a bleeding. If she is heavily bleeding or she is having any pain in abdomen, tightness in over the abdomen, regular contractions, or if there is a watery discharge, we can say if there is a leaking Or the last is the decreased fetal movement. If the lady is not feeling or she is having doubts about the fetal movements, then definitely she should come immediately to the hospital. She should not wait at home, or she should not keep on calling or consulting online. So these are the emergency signals where she should immediately reach to hospital. Hello? Hello?
Jayanti, are you
Hello.
there? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
There was again some technical issue. I'm so sorry about that. Can you hear me, both of you?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Yeah. Okay. So likewise, if you look at it in the early feeding days for the newborn babies, reflex is a very common or a very usual episode. But again, the mother starts panicking when such reflex happens. So is reflex very dangerous, first of all? And what do a mother do? Like, should she rush the child to the hospital immediately?
See, basically, reflux is a movement of milk from the stomach to the mouth. So the gastric contents are reaching the mouth. It could be small, like a spit up, small spit up, or it could be a little bigger vomit. And if it's forceful, it can come from the mouth as well as the nostril, which really panics the parents. So in that situation, the parent should keep the baby sideways, clean the mouth first and then the nose, and then just assess the baby, whether the baby's color is pink, whether the baby is breathing normally. If there's a nose block, they can use simple saline drops, which generally are given prescribed by the pediatrician at the time of discharge. So these are simple things which parents can do. But red flags or danger signs associated with reflux are where the parents have to visit the doctor immediately. Are number one, if the vomiting is profuse, where the child is vomiting 2 or 3 times back to back, a big amount of vomit, like approximately probably the same amount of feed the baby has taken, in the 3 back-to-back vomit. If even one color of the vomit is other than milk, curd, or water. So if the vomit small quantity also is yellow, green, or some other odd color, it's a sign that the baby needs to be seen by a doctor immediately. The other danger signs being that reflux associated with dullness, the child is lethargic or child is excessively irritable, not consolable at all, or the vomiting is associated with a temperature more than 100 on a Fahrenheit scale on a digital thermometer. Other than that, if the baby is passing good amount of urine, baby is smiling in between, or feeding fine, then just by burping and giving a sideways position would help the baby and the mother.
Okay. Now another question to about the pregnant women. Um, it's absolutely one should be lucky if the pregnant when you're pregnant that you're fit and hale and healthy. During the complete 9 months tenure. But there are some who develop gestational diabetics, who get into asthmatic. Are these people more vulnerable to coronavirus infection? If so, then what extra precautions should they take to take care of themselves?
Yeah, right. If it is like guidelines say that if a pregnancy does not have any additional risk of acquiring a coronavirus infection than the general population, but definitely the immune system is altered, so any response to any viral infection could appear in an exaggerated form. So we have to be careful, we have to be cautious, even if it is a normal pregnancy without any risk. But if any comorbidities are associated, like a hypertension in pregnancy or asthma or a gestational diabetes, definitely pregnant lady should take extra precautions. Suppose if she is having asthma, which is associated with pregnancy, then definitely she should avoid allergens, any aggravating factors which causes precipitation of asthma. She can maintain her respiratory hygiene. She can have mouth gargles. She can have regular warm water along with the turmeric. And if the patient is having a gestational diabetes, which is associated with pregnancy, then she has to maintain her calorie intake. So she has to take a proper diabetic diet. She has to follow all the medications as advised by doctor to control her blood sugar levels. And if another diseases like a hypertension in pregnancy or a cardiac disease, definitely there is a high risk for acquiring an infection, coronavirus infection. So definitely they should check with her doctor on a regular basis and take the medications as advised. Even we advise a holistic approach. The pregnant lady should take a regular exercises. She should do yoga, which are safe in pregnancy. Meditation is advisable. Even pranayam will help to reduce the complications. So these are the factors which she can just practice having regular yoga and exercises.
So that way they can take care of themselves from the
Complications.
infection complications.
Yes.
Okay, again, Dr. Amita, now what are the care and precautions one should take when you're breastfeeding the newborn babies now, given the pandemic situation?
The best breastfeeding, generally, even if the mother is COVID positive, the breastfeeding is not stopped because the milk does not transmit the infection. So, with a normal mother and a normal baby, breastfeeding is the best milk. The breast milk not only gives nutrients for growth and development, it increases the immunity of the baby as well. But so there's no major precautions which one should take. But if the mother has cough and cold, she should wear a mask and then breastfeed the baby, because the corona infection is more of an or aerosol or droplet kind of an infection. She should sanitize her hands frequently or wash her hands frequently before and after touching the baby.
Okay, sometimes mothers, there are ladies who are not able to lactate. So in a general and a normal situation, the milk donors are advised. But right now, having a milk donor option is a big risk. So, what advice you would give in such kind of a situation? What should the mother do to feed the baby?
See, a lot of times these days, a lot of mothers are undergoing C-sections, and after that, the milk production starts after a little longer, probably 48, 72 hours. So during that period, the mother should always keep trying to latch the baby, and in the meantime, give baby formula feeds, any standard formula, using a bowl and a spoon. Make sure the bowl and spoon are sterilized. We do not recommend a bottle in the newborn period until unless it has been prescribed by a pediatrician for certain specific reason. But if family or the pediatrician, they want the mother, the baby to receive just the breast milk, we have option of commercially available pasteurized donor human milk. So these are freely available, but they come at they're costly. A bottle of around 50 ml of pasteurized donor human milk would cost you around 650 rupees. So I don't think in a general situation you don't have to buy such an expensive milk. Mother should focus on breastfeeding and focus on her nutrition. And in the meantime, till she is not producing enough milk, she should resort to formula, and with the aim that eventually she is going to exclusively breastfeed her baby.
Okay. Okay, that was very nicely put, because that's one question which is there on top of the mind of many mothers nowadays. Especially the lactation becomes when it's an issue. Okay, there's one common question for both from a mother point of view, delivered mother point of view, and newborn baby point of view. When the mother and baby, they come back home from the hospital, ideally they are supposed to be quarantined because of this current situation. Now, how should the family members support them or respect this quarantine, condition as a compulsory situation, how should the family members support them, both the mother and the newborn baby? Now, both of you can answer this. Dr. Rashmi, you can answer this.
Yes. Coming to this postpartum period, means after delivery, a lot of changes are happening after delivery in a mother. She is emotionally and physiologically, definitely the changes are there. There is anxiety, postpartum depressions are also known. And so here comes the role of family members. So family members should give a strong support. Their role is very important for her mental health as well as physical health. For her mental health, she should take a proper sleep. For physical health, she should take proper nutrition. High protein diet is advisable, even iron rich diet, green vegetables, lots of fruits, vitamin C, especially to avoid the corona infection. And other than that, she can maintain her hand hygiene because she has to take care of her baby. So cleanliness is also very important. And second thing, no visitors should be allowed so as to prevent the exposure to mother as well as baby. And if any ceremonies like celebration ceremonies, they should definitely be postponed or avoided depending on the situation. So we advise 5 things to follow for every in pregnancy also and in postpartum period also. 5 things. First is social distancing strictly. Second, hand hygiene. Third, respiratory hygiene, wearing a mask. Fourth, avoid touching the face. And fifth is stay home and stay safe.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Amita.
Yes, for the baby and the mother, as Dr. Rashmi said, we do not let the mother and the baby go out for the first 6 weeks, which we always follow in the Hindu tradition. And right now, it has to be followed more strictly. Besides the doctor visits, the mother and the baby should not be going out, number one. People should not be visiting in, even with the corona situation, or neighbors drop in just to check on whether the mother and the baby are fine. Visitors should not be allowed near mother and the baby. If the visitors are coming home, because right now there are a lot of asymptomatic carriers, because we are in a community transmission phase. So if somebody is coming from outside, make sure that they are wearing a mask, and wherever they touch, we have to disinfect those surfaces, because formites also contribute to the spread of corona infection. Then if people are going out of the house because father may be working, or they maybe need to go out for groceries, so we have to make sure that the father, once goes, they practices the same social distancing, wear a proper mask. And once they come in, they should not directly come in the mother's and the baby's room, and they should probably wash their hands, change their clothes if they have gone for a long time, and then come and hold the baby. Because it's a tendency, whenever we come inside the house, we would want to touch the small baby, kiss the small baby. So
very
those
true.
things should be avoided. And ceremonies, obviously, there's no to any ceremony. You can have a Zoom ceremony probably.
I know.
So
that's the better option nowadays, I guess, provided there are no technical clinch like this.
breastfeeding is a must, because we want to improve the immunity of the baby. So that goes without saying.
Yeah, I know. Should everybody in the house also wear a mask and wear a gloves when they have to take
Not really. Not in the house, because we are household contacts. But if somebody is going out, or if we have a visitor from outside, because we don't know who's carrying the bacteria, the virus. So obviously they should be standing at a distance, wearing a mask, and not touching their face, not touching everywhere. So
Right.
those things we have to be really careful in this corona pandemic situation, especially with a small baby around the house.
Very true, very true. Okay, so we have got a lot of questions which has come from the viewers. Okay, let me just okay, there's a question. Ma'am, my husband is a doctor and he goes to work every day. We have 2 months old twins. We take all precautions when he comes back, yet I'm scared of touching him. So am I overreacting? I think both of you can handle it from the mother point of view and the child point of view. So Rashmi, what do you have to?
See, the overreaction is, now we can say it is appropriate, because we have to be safe. We have to avoid touching everywhere. We have to maintain our hand hygiene. We have to keep the baby safe, as well as the mother's immunity is also less. So we have to be careful for mother also. So better to, we should stick to the hand hygiene, everything we should follow as advice.
Okay. So
See,
what?
simple things, we should not complicate things too much. So if somebody is coming from outside in a house with a child, or even elderly people, or children less than 10 years, they should just there should be a hand sanitizer lying outside the house. Clean the hands, walk in, go in the bathroom, change your clothes, take a bath, come out, and your simple
Correct.
soap and water use will help you get rid of the virus. So let's not overdo things unnecessarily, and let's not create a panic which is already there.
I know. I guess this norm of when we go out and come back taking a shower, I think it should be followed by everyone, irrespective of whether you have twins or you
Yeah,
have.
correct.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is a direct question to Dr. Rashmi. If the patient is having early pregnancy
Okay.
and diagnosed coronavirus, corona positive, in such case, should she continue the pregnancy or go for an abortion?
Okay. If it is early pregnancy, there is no evidence till yet of the vertical transmission from mother to baby through the placenta. So definitely, corona infection in pregnancy is not an indication for the medical termination of pregnancy. Definitely, she can check herself with the doctor. If everything is okay and she is having mild symptoms, then definitely she can continue pregnancy, and it can go smoothly later on also. So it is not an indication to terminate.
Okay, this is again a very common question, but then I think we should ask, especially Dr. Amita can answer. All sanitizers have 60% alcohol. Now, can we use this sanitizer and touch the newborn baby?
Yes, we need to have alcohol content more than 60%. So there are sanitizers with around 70% ethyl alcohol. And yes, it is recommended. You can touch, we are using it in the NICU before touching our small babies also. Main thing is, whenever you use a sanitizer, air dry your hands. You cannot have a wet hand and with a sanitizer and touching the baby. That can cause skin burns in the baby. So make sure whenever you use soap and water would always be preferred. But in case where the soap and water is not available, or you are not going to wash your hands so frequently, then you use a sanitizer, but air dry it. Your hand should be absolutely dry. And you should not touch directly the baby with a wet sanitizer because it's high in alcohol. Some of them have chlorhexidine and can cause skin burns in small babies.
Okay. Again, it's a similar kind of a question, but slight, the situation is a little different. The mom, this is Veena who's asking. She has twins and she has a helper at home. She says, I'm overworked and I strictly sanitize my helper's hand when she reports to work. Can I allow house help?
Yes, we now in this situation, this corona is not going to leave us anytime soon. So yes, house help can be allowed, but let's not let not the house help do the children's things. Let her do the household stuff. And if you could prefer a stay home help, or if the house help would just be restricted to one or two houses, so that would be better. But as with the babies, like a lot of people would want bais to come in to massage the child or clean the baby, or we give a bath to the baby or handle baby's things. I think that should be avoided. But regular mopping and cleaning and washing utensils should be allowed, provided the house help is not unwell, not have clinical signs of cough and cold. That we right now we have to allow, because it's not possible for a mother of a twins to do a household work as well as take care of the babies.
Correct. And there is one, Mr. Ajay, he has asked, I am not able to understand, but I can kind of figure out what he is trying to ask. He wants to know, will COVID-19 create any complication to the baby inside the womb?
Yes, that is the same question, because there is yet till now there is no evidence that coronavirus can pass. That is a vertical transmission, we can say, from mother to baby through placenta. Even the breast milk, it is not seen that there is any viral infection. Even if the mother is positive, baby can be negative and absolutely fine. So there is a less chance, we can say, till now there is no evidence that coronavirus infection passes from mother to the fetus in the womb. So I think there are results yet awaited, but till now there is no evidence.
See, right now, whatever evidence says the spread is airborne, either droplet or aerosol. So right now, there is, if the baby is going to get infection from the mother or the family, it's because of the droplet and the aerosol. So wearing a mask, or if somebody is unwell, or just social distancing and cleaning properly should prevent the baby from getting any infection.
Okay. I think we should wind up with that. Yeah, there's one last question. Can I take it? Is that okay?
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah. Okay, my child takes formula milk and the child is 4 months old. I am not and I can't breastfeed. So I don't want to. So please don't judge me on that. But is the child really very low in immunity then? Is there any supplement to give? Basically, she's trying to find out if since she's not able to lactate, if she gives a formula milk, will the immunity of the child go down? So doctor.
Breast milk, as I said, is the best milk, but there are certain situations where mother may not be able to make enough milk for the baby. So the routine formula, whatever is available, can be given. We cannot starve the baby, and we cannot just live in that guilt that we're not feeding the baby breast milk. But it will not definitely drop the immunity. But yes, if you compare your baby with a baby who has been breastfed, would have a little higher immunity than your baby. But that doesn't mean that your baby is going to be subjected to corona or other infections. We have to follow the same practice for any other baby and be happy and be less anxious. And there are no supplements for such small babies to improve the immunity.
Okay. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of this very informative and very important session, I would say, for this current situation. I would, on behalf of Ketchup Mom's team and the viewers, I would want to thank Dr. Amita and Dr. Rashmi for giving your valuable time and giving us a complete insight on all the lingering questions in our mind with respect to pregnant women and newborn babies. Thanks a lot, and thank you viewers for joining us for the talk show. And in fact, next Saturday we're going to come up with another important talk show, which is about daughters' right on property. So do not miss to watch that talk show too. So thanks a lot, and I guess we had a very nice session talking to both the doctors.
Thank you for having us. Thanks. We also had a nice time.
Yeah, and you're most welcome. And viewers, if you have any kind of questions, please check on the link which is given on the comment section. That link would give you an option of doing an online consultation with both the doctors, and from there on they will take it over accordingly. So thanks a lot, and we'll surely catch up as early as possible for a next session if whenever it is needed. And thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.